All right. Hello. Good morning. I'm meteorologist Alexandra Cranford in the WWL Louisiana Forecast Center, and we're talking today about our rain, our storms that we're expecting on Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and even into Monday night. We do have a risk of severe weather plus a risk of some heavy rain. So some street flooding, some severe storms. You might get some warnings popping up on your phone. All these things expected as we move through today. And also we're seeing our winds pick up even with no thunderstorms. It's also just a very windy setup as we get this strong system about to move in. So let's jump right into it and I'll show you what we're expecting as far as our severe risk goes. This is for today. Again, mostly second part of the day and into tonight. High wind gusts and a few tornadoes possible, and the severe risk for our area is the level 3 out of the 5 risk categories for severe weather. So when you see this, we're at number 3 out of 5. That's called enhanced. Notice also the hatching where you see the dashes here. That indicates that strong tornadoes will be possible. So the Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma, a team of meteorologists kind of looks out and they issue these updates coming out a few times a day actually for the day of. So they've kept us at the level 3 and they've included this possibility for some strong tornadoes. So this is something you'll want to take seriously later today. It does look like we'll have either the damaging wind gust potential or the rotating segments causing the potential for some tornadoes too. So we'll be watching this really closely for you all through the afternoon, evening, and into tonight. So breaking down the severe weather threats, again, it looks like high wind gusts, tornadoes, those would be the two main elements that we're watching for. Hail possible, but that will be a lower threat. And then flooding, this will be something we're watching for, especially if we see a couple of heavier storms or a couple of training segments as this system approaches. So not everyone will get the flooding, but we will have the potential for some pretty heavy thunderstorm activity, and that is part of what would fuel that. We also just have a lot of moisture in our atmosphere right now. So these things will probably help to bring our rain totals up to maybe 2 to 4 inches of rain, although I will show you our models in just a second. Looking at our setup, we have a couple of showers already riding over some of our southeast Louisiana spots. There is some rain out to the west over Texas and a line of storms now approaching Dallas. This is where the surface low is. And then look at this. This is a warm front. When this moves north over our area, that is when we're going to see our severe threat especially go up. So again, that will be this afternoon, maybe 3 p.m. that we especially start to see that severe risk increasing. I know you want to see the model, so let me just jump into this really quick and then we'll break down other things happening. So this is roughly noon. I'm starting it here. Same thing just about that we're seeing, although maybe a little bit of heavier storm action off to our west. So if you're doing things today, it's almost 11 a.m. right now. You have maybe another hour or two that you could do things comfortably. It might even be till 2 or 3 p.m. that we see things really ramp up, but it does look like that will happen. This is, for example, 3 and 4 p.m. And here are a couple of ugly storms. Now, this is out ahead of this main cold front, and this is as we're getting the warmer air just starting to surge in. So these cells that form out ahead of the system, these will have the chance to start rotating, and that's often one of the concerns we see with this type of system. Few storms with our first round of rain in the afternoon to evening. That could be severe, but they will be more, I think, scattered in nature and not just a full filled in completely a batch of storms. Now this is by 6 p.m. Interestingly, we might already see a couple of spots near our coast getting a bit of a break, although other spots still active. So after 6 p.m. getting towards sunset, we may have a little bit of a lull, and here we go with round 2. This would be more in the form of a squall line, that pretty familiar line of strong storms. Now, even though this line tends sometimes to make everything more stable because the energy is kind of spread out over a line of storms as opposed to one single cell, even though that can be the case, look at this. Our model's kind of showing these little segments of the line punched out or bowing out, and that can mean high wind gusts. Also, when you see this, you can see on either the north or the south side of these what we call bowing segments, you can see rotation start to spin up with bookend vortices is what it's called when you have tornadoes on either side of a segment like that. So there will be the potential, even with that line, at night, and that was about 11 p.m. midnight. This is 1 a.m. There will still be the severe potential, and we could still have some heavy rain with the line itself. Now, interestingly, a couple of trends from last night changing to today. Today, I'm seeing this line with our models kind of broken up a little bit more. So we will see if that's the case. Also, the line moving in earlier. Yesterday's models had this more about maybe 4 or 5 a.m. on Tuesday. Now it's more like about just after midnight, maybe to around 1 or 2 or 3. For example, 3 a.m. and the line is already east of our Mississippi counties and just about to finish up for southern Plaquemines. So this is tentative. Exact timing could, of course, change a bit, but interesting to see it speeding up a little overnight and also looking like it might be a little bit more broken, at least at times. Now here comes the actual front. So this is Tuesday, 7 a.m. We see the rain leave. We will have our severe threat ended by then. There might be a stray shower like you can see here, but the main thing will just be continued windy conditions and our winds shifting from the south to be coming from the west. This is Tuesday, 10 a.m. We're finished with the system, but again, dry and windy. So here's our forecast for today. You can see those rain chances increasing from even at 11 o'clock right now, only about a 20% chance. Oh, our time has just changed here. So noon, about a 40-50% rain chance. And then you can see after, I would say about 2-3 p.m. That's where the rain chance really goes up. The worst of it might be roughly 5 p.m. or so, maybe 4 or 5 p.m. That's how it looks right now at any rate. Then you can see we might get a little bit of a lull perhaps. And then by midnight, that rain chance is going right back up. Now, something else you've probably seen, look at these winds. Even when we're not getting rain, we still just have a really windy setup. So those winds could easily be up to 25, maybe even sustained near 30 or even 35 miles per hour later today. And we could have gusts nearing 60 miles per hour. So that's why we've been talking about a potential for maybe some spotty power outages, maybe some tree limbs getting blown down. And again, that could be with a thunderstorm, or it could just be from the windy setup that we have, even potentially when it's not raining. So windy weather through today into tonight. We also have the potential for street flooding, so this is just a heads up. Hopefully this evening you can get in and get to your house and just kind of hang out and keep your phone charged and be ready for warnings and so forth. You could turn on WWL TV or look at our app and so forth. But it looks like this evening especially would be our chance for seeing some of that street flooding. Officially, the flood watch goes until early tomorrow morning after the line has passed through. Also, this is a high wind warning that's been issued. This is for those southeast winds up to 35 miles per hour, but gusting even higher, maybe near 58 or so miles per hour. Looks like a lot of us will see peak wind gusts around 50 miles per hour. And this goes from noon today through 3 a.m. tomorrow. And just a heads up, even tomorrow we continue windy. As I said, winds will be from the west up to about 20 miles per hour, gusting maybe to about 30 or 40 miles per hour. So one other thing is the coastal flooding. We're going to see our winds from the southeast. So as usual, when we have these sustained windy setups, kind of pushes the water up along the shorelines. For the green shaded areas, you're looking at about 1 to 2, maybe 3 feet higher than normal water levels along the shoreline. But here for Hancock County, you're at a little higher risk to see maybe 2 to 4 feet. So that's probably where any coastal flooding would be the most concern. Looking at rain totals, interestingly, our models don't really have super excessive rain totals. They have about 1 to 2 or so. This is from our European model. This is from the GFS model. Again, 1 to 2. But again, the concern would be if we have a few spots that start to train and then all of a sudden you're talking about heavy rain, not just dumping 1 or 2 inches, but I think at least a few spots could get closer to maybe 3, possibly even 4+ inches of rain. So just to kind of sum up the rain potential, it's going to be this afternoon through tonight. How much? About 2 to 4 inches total. Some spots might get a little less, we'll see. But again, that potential will be there for some street flooding. And yes, some severe storms will be possible. I wanted to show you really quickly our 7-day forecast so you can make your plans. Tomorrow, Tuesday, everything's done. It's still windy. There might be a shower very early, but really from sunrise and beyond, we're looking for much quieter weather, although it stays windy through Tuesday evening. And then Wednesday, we might start with a light freeze north of the lake, maybe even south of the lake, getting some frost potentially early Wednesday morning. So we do get colder air with this system. Another system is moving in Friday, but we'll get to that one when we get there. Right now it looks like we'll have some storms warming up, bit of a breeze, and we'll see about the strength of that next system. But just did want to update you, and thanks for joining us, by the way, on this Monday morning as we look ahead to our main threats today. I would really suggest keep your phone charged, be aware you might get some warnings. Keep in mind if you are issued a tornado warning, just have in mind where's that safe space that I would go. Just being prepared can really help, I think, mentally a bit as we're seeing, just that potential there through this afternoon, evening, and overnight. And of course, at night it can be hard to get warnings. You're asleep, so keep in mind you may want to keep your volume on your phone tonight just in case you're issued a warning or something like that, because we will have the potential for that severe weather overnight as well as this afternoon and through the evening. So again, the kind of 2 rounds of rain, one afternoon and evening, one moving in overnight, roughly around or just after midnight. And then again, by tomorrow morning, we're looking dry and windy, but we will not have that severe threat any longer. Stay with WWL. We'll have many more updates coming up for you through the day.